So
And
how did you find us in the first place?
on your YouTube videos,
What were you searching for? Do you remember?
I was at lunch and getting close to retire. This was like last year,
Okay.
and I was getting close to that enrollment date for Medicare, and I just came across some wasn't your videos, but some other folks that you compete with. Watched some of their videos, and then I stumbled on yours. And what impressed me was your knowledge of the Medicare system that to me was a black box. You know, it was there. Well, of course, anything with the government is overly complicated,
Right.
and you seem to take the complexity and distill it down into something that for someone totally unexposed to the Medicare world, you made it understandable. And so
Hey.
I got bitten by the bug. So once I got your first video, then I did a search and saw that you had so many others up there.
Wow.
So I made it my mission on my lunch hours to watch your videos, on my tablet. So anyway, that's
well. How did your process go for enrolling and everything?
well, the first thing that I did, of course, was jot down all of your company information.
Okay.
Then I called your company and I got a hold of Liz. And this was, I think it was probably about September or so, August or September, because my birthday is in August. So I got a hold of Liz, and we scheduled a phone meeting.
Okay.
And she explained to me a little more detail what was involved, and that I needed to understand the difference between standard Medicare with a supplement and the Part C program. And she went into, and well, during our meeting, she went into the detail, and she explained the pluses and minuses. And then I'm a corporate guy. I used to work in New York City, so in a purchasing function. So I'm used to doing an awful lot of investigation and research before making multi-million-dollar contract decisions. So falling into that mode, I started doing a little more research with Medicare.gov sites, other information, and all the rest. And I came to the conclusion that for my needs, a cafeteria style plan was far better off, gave me a better sense of confidence than going with the Medicare Part C. And then you later, in one of your videos, you validated my decision when you said it's really the federal government for cost savings reasons that they really push people into the Part C programs. And it makes perfect sense, because instead of dealing with 3 or 4 vendors for Medicare, you're dealing with one that just sends you one invoice for payment,
Yeah. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Medicare Rights Center. Have you heard of them?
No.
Well, it's a nonprofit organization that educates people and advocates on behalf of seniors to Medicare.
Okay.
And last year they wrote a letter to a bunch of Congress people, and they were concerned because the Medicare and You guidebook that everyone gets when they're aging into Medicare was heavily skewed toward how wonderful Medicare Advantage was without any of the caveats, none of the small print. No talk of restrictions, referrals, prior authorizations, network restrictions. None of those things were present. It just made it appear that it has all these wonderful benefits in an attempt to skew the education going out. They wrote to them, and they actually got some of the language changed before it went to print for 2020. And I have to commend them on that, because that's the trend. And I understand the administration wants to save what is a losing program as far as financial policy, but that's what they've promised seniors. They promised that if you put the money in for all of your working life, it will be there when you're ready. And then suddenly at the end, it's like, just kidding. We want to sell you to this private organization and pay them, and they'll take good care of it. It'll be just like Medicare, but different. I'm really glad you did a lot of independent research on that.
Well, when we look at the history of the whole Social Security and the Medicare program, those who are savvy understand that the irrevocable trust that was originally set up by Congress was dipped into a couple of times in the early 60s with the promise that, oh yeah, we'll pay it back, we'll pay it back. Well, of course, that never happened. And then another bill was passed into law that gave Congress the unlimited access to the trust fund to tap into whenever they felt like it. So here we are. The trust fund was really never recharged. Right. And now we hear on a fairly continuous basis that every year Social Security and Medicare is at risk of losing federal funding. So,
well, tell me how the process was as you were approaching 65. How much junk mail did you accumulate during that process?
Oh my gosh, it was just tons showing up in the mailbox.
Wow.
It was, and from every, and most of it was Medicare C. They didn't market themselves that way. But oh yeah, you can get all of these wonderful things packaged up in a program paid for by Medicare. Just give us a call and we'll go through it with you. Okay. And I just, most of that junk mail ended up in the, in the circular file. And your website, Chris, was the most informative out of all those that I viewed. And you're a retired police officer, right? Yeah. And the fact that you understand laws, how they work, how they're administered and enforced, and working with the government. Now my fiance, no longer my fiance, was a former IRS revenue agent.
Wow.
And she as well was very familiar with how the government works.
Right.
And she gave me, she kind of gave me the front end insight into all of that. But the fact is, you've been around for a while, and it's not by accident that you are. The whole reason for business, for starting a business, is to run a profit. But to do so means you have to earn what you do. And of course, you have oversight as well. You're subject to audit and all the rest. Well, obviously, you're in business, you're successful, you've been around for a while, so you must be doing something right.
I always remind myself of Zig Ziglar's comment way back in the day where he said, it's ironic. The more people you help get what they want, you get what you want. And I love that about this business is that we come in every day. We had a meeting about it this morning. Our goal is to come together, eliminate confusion, help put people on programs that they can qualify for, apply any discounts that they may not have known about, and leave them in a better place than when they met us originally. And I think as long as that's our goal every day, we'll continue to survive. And even in the coronavirus days, our business is continuing to grow because of that philosophy. I think I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, I have a great deal of confidence in the three people that I have worked with on your side.
Oh,
Liz, and was it Gabby?
Yeah.
Gabby and Robert.
Oh,
the drug guy. Yep. He was, oh my gosh, he was just a wealth of information.
He is highly technical. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And I have a technical education, so, we could kind of connect on that level. The long and short of it is, really two major things really sold me on working with your company. And that was the knowledge that everybody I spoke to possessed, and then having an advocate in the unexpected situation where the government is not going to cooperate, is going to throw up roadblocks on an issue. At least I know that I have someone with knowledge and experience in my corner that I can trust. to represent my needs going forward instead of trying to do it myself.
Let me ask you a trick question.
Yep.
Was the fee that we charge for our services too much?
No, really. No, that was one of the, because that honestly is one of the things going into brokered services like this, that you want to ask the question,
Right.
how much is it going to cost me?
Right.
I asked the same thing of my retirement funds manager.
Deal.
How are you making your money and how much is it costing me? And these are, according to the Security and Exchange Commission, these are questions they're compelled to answer.
Absolutely.
Yep. But you, right in your front end videos that I started watching, you are very clear to market your company by saying you don't owe us a thing.
Right.
Medicare pays our fees, but yet you've got a staff of people in your corner to represent you in the event that you have problems.
I'm so glad that message got through. Very good.
I found your video. In fact, I'm not done watching your videos.
Oh, good deal.
Because there's
I have one coming out today. Good deal.
Yeah. Yeah, very informative. And
how often do you get down to Charleston?
well, actually, I used to work in Mount Pleasant. I'm recently, I worked at the new Lowe's store in Mount Pleasant across from Roper St. Francis Hospital there.
That's 1 minute from my house.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I used to work there as a kitchen designer.
Wow.
But I worked at over 16 years.
Well, good deal. Well, the next time you find yourself in Charleston, we'd love it if you stop by the office. We're on 526 in North Charleston.
Okay.
I'd love to meet you in person.
Yeah, I would too, Chris. Like I said, I have a great deal of respect and confidence in people that have spent as much time researching the product lines that they sell and can answer just about any question that those novices like me can throw at you.
Oh, great.
And today starts my my drug program, my supplement, Medicare supplement program, and the ear, dental, and eye program. So
good deal. 3
products I decided to purchase from you guys, or 2 products, I guess it is, that I purchased from you guys, and I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
So now I don't have the $65-70 a week I was paying in gas and commuting.
Wow.
So
good deal. Mr. Craig, thank you so much for spending the time with me and giving me feedback as to how we're doing on this end. I really appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, and I as well. And tell your staff that have been so helpful to me that how much I appreciated their assistance. Okay.
Sure, thank you so much, sir. And come see us when you're in town.
Okay, I will. I'll give you a call first, and we'll see if we can set something up. Okay.
That'd be great. Thank you so much, sir. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too, Chris. Thank you. You too. Bye-bye now.